Klay Thompson has played 8 NBA seasons. He's been over 40% from 3 in all 8. His rookie campaign is his only one with fewer than 200 made triples. And the numbers might not even be the most impressive part of Klay's resume. Few, if any, jumpers have ever risen above this one aesthetically. From a technical standpoint, Klay Thompson's jump shot is as close to perfect as it gets. It's about the same every time. Whether he's coming off a screen from the corner, running an elevator cut from the paint, dribbling into a 3 or finishing off any other kind of action, Thompson's catch-and-release form is as consistent as it gets. His shoulders are square, that right elbow is around 90 degrees and the follow-through is pure. And when he gets in the zone, few things in the history of basketball have been quite like it. In fact, his 37-point quarter was, and still is, unprecedented. In those moments, this Splash Brother looks like a machine that was specifically engineered for jump shooting. Steve Nash may always be known for his flashy passing, especially during his back-to-back MVP seasons with the Phoenix Suns, but this point guard's lights-out shooting was a critical component of his offensive dominance. And even though he hasn't been retired long, he's another player who'd be fun to watch in 2021. Nash was a famously unselfish player. His career average for field goal attempts, 10.6, wasn't much higher than his career average for assists, 8.5. And that doesn't even account for assist opportunities blown by teammates missing shots. Had Nash hunted his own looks a little more over the course of his career, there's a good chance he would have finished higher up this list. Reggie Miller. Few shooters in NBA history approached the game with the level of confidence and bravado Reggie Miller boasted. In an era during which 14.5% of shot attempts were threes, Miller's three-point attempt rate was 37.1. His jump shot wasn't the same picturesque beauty we're used to seeing from other players in these discussions. His lead hand went flying to the side of his guide hand. He was often off balance. But arguing with the results was impossible. He's a case study for repetition being more important than form. Few moments in his career were as illustrative of that ability and the aforementioned confidence as the legendary 8 points in 9 seconds. Ray Allen. For much of the 1990s, 2000s and 2010s, Ray Allen was viewed among the standard-bearers for outside shooting. He burst onto the scene by averaging 18.1 points and shooting 38.8% from deep during his first 4 seasons with the Milwaukee Bucks. He topped out at 26.4 points per game for the 2006-07 Seattle Supersonics, transitioned to a smaller role for the title-winning Boston Celtics and hit one of the game's most famous shots for the 2012-13 Miami Heat. With time winding down in the fourth quarter of Game 6 in the 2013 Finals, Miami was as close to done as a Finals team can get. After an offensive rebound by Chris Bosh, Allen backpedaled to the corner, caught a pass from the big man and sank a game-tying triple with a hand in his face. The Heat would go on to win the series against the San Antonio Spurs. Allen was much more than just a shooter, but it's that ability and the moments it provided for which he'll be remembered most. And like Thompson's, his is one of those shots that will be on instructional videos for years to come. His feet, elbow, follow-through and elevation were so consistent. Kyle Korver finishing second may not be surprising. It's the gap between him and Allen that might require a double take. Maybe this is a case of slow and steady winning the race. Korver has only played 1 season in which he averaged over 10 shot attempts. But he's consistently been among the league's leaders in three-point percentage for 16 years now. He makes the most of those limited attempts. Throughout his career, 61% of the shots he's taken have been threes. He's led the league in three-point percentage 4 times, including in 2009-10 when he shot 53.6% from downtown for the Utah Jazz. Due to the ever-present threat of Korver hitting a dagger from the outside, his teams have always been comfortably better with him on the floor. During those 16 years, his squads have posted a -0.3 net rating when he's off the court and a +3.5 net rating when he's on, a swing of +3.8. In 2014-15 alone, that swing was plus 13.7 points per 100 possessions for the Atlanta Hawks. A player who took just 8 shots per game was legitimately called his team's scariest weapon. That's the kind of impact an elite three-point shooter can have. Stephen Curry. Surely, you're not surprised. No one in NBA history has combined volume and efficiency quite like Stephen Curry. However, it's still remarkable that he already has this big a lead on the field with plenty of time seemingly left in his career. And again, this exercise does nothing to account for degree of difficulty. Curry regularly takes shots the other players on this list may not ever have dreamed about during their playing days. No player in the history of the NBA has combined range, volume and efficiency from downtown as well as Curry, and over the course of the Warriors dynasty, he has changed the way the entire league looks at three-point scoring. Curry's jumper is so lethal that he has become the most efficient volume scorer on the planet. Of the league's top 20 scorers, nobody has a higher true shooting percentage than Curry. Not even Giannis Antetokounmpo, and all he does is dunk it. Coming into this decade, three-point shooting was a relatively niche skill reserved for role players or the occasional sharpshooting all-stars like Allen and Miller. But now shooting is everything. As Curry showed us, the three-pointer can be the dominant shot of the league's most dominant scorers. And as the greatest shooter of all time, he's starting to force his way into the conversation about the greatest players ever.